I often get the question, what is the rarest car of all time made by Mattel? And here it is, Checo Perez, Francesco Bernoulli, one of a kind, made specifically for Sergio Perez to recognize his achievements. All right, now granted, this is a custom. This is a custom replica of the one-of-a-kind diecast that Mattel did indeed make specifically and exclusively for Sergio, aka Checo Perez. And honestly, I am shocked they only did one of these. They are probably they're probably holding themselves back, restraining themselves because they know they could do like a cool exclusive run out of this, make it like one of the mail-in promos, make it a D23 exclusive or San Diego Comic-Con or whatever it may be. I mean, this is exactly what kind of they used to do back in the day in terms of these more special releases. But no, they truly seem to only have done one of these and probably will never open the door to doing it again. And it is pretty respectable. It's admirable. They were like, hey, Sergio Perez, we like you a lot. You've done some great things in the world of Formula One. You've done a lot for inspiring kids and promoting racing in general. And so here is a car just for you. It's pretty cool. You know, Sergio Perez took a bunch of pictures with it that I'll put on the screen there. It's probably one of the coolest cars Mattel has ever done. The only thing I'd say holding it back is that they reused a model of one of the most popular characters already, Francesco Bernoulli, that is. Of course, the quote-unquote rival from Cars 2, the Italian World Grand Prix racer. And honestly, I don't mind that they did that because it seems like they overuse the Max Schnell model when creating these racers based on real life drivers, whether it be Mark Winterbottom, Flash over here, Jan Nilsson, Vitaly Petrov, Longue. Of course, in Cars 2, they did have Fernando Alonso. They didn't do him as a diecast, but they copied the Miguel Camino model. So I guess that one's a little bit more special. And then you also have Memo Rojas Jr. over here. So they love this model here. Now, I can tell you exactly why, though, they did choose the Francesco model. I'm sure a lot of you guys will find it very obvious as well, but it's because Sergio Perez races in Formula One, which is a circuit for only open wheelers, single seaters, and that is what Francesco is. I guess you could maybe stretch Rip Kluchkineski into that category, but he's not as iconic as the Francesco Bernoulli model. Now, I would love to become a bigger fan of Formula One. It seems so fascinating to me. You know, you got like a race every other week in a different country, super exotic. It seems way more interesting and captivating to me than NASCAR. I'm sorry, NASCAR fans, but I just haven't been able to get into it. If you guys know anything about me, I am a big football, American football, and baseball fan. So that's what I put my time into. I'd love to get into more Formula One. Like, I've looked on their website, I've looked at the standings a billion times. So I could tell you he races for Red Bull. He's the second driver. His co-worker and the face really right now of Formula One, Max Verstappen. I mean, he's the guy. He has just been tremendously successful, one of the most winning racers over the last couple years, usurping Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, some of the more, you know, household names over the last decade. You got Charles Leclerc up in there and Carlos Sainz and all those guys. But Sergio Perez has been very successful. I mean, he's had some wins of his own, and he's just been a great teammate, honestly, to Max Verstappen, allowing Red Bull to be one of the most, you know, like I said, successful teams over the last couple years here. Now, Formula One diehards, let me know what you guys think about what I said. Maybe you disagree or whatnot. I mean, share your insights because, like I said, it's something that I want to know more about. I want to learn more. I want to become a bigger fan of it. But that's just not where I'm at right now. But I try my best, and that is what I have to present to you. And yeah, so you've seen the real thing. This custom was done by Shane Cooper, who's done a lot of the customs I've reviewed recently. And I must say, I got a whole bunch of him. Like, usually I get customs from him in batches, whereas other customizers, I get them in, you know, dribs and drabs, or maybe 2 at a time. But I get like a batch of 10 at a time from Shane. And the batch include, you know, the Gold DJ, the Bohemian Dragon Fillmore, the Carlo Veloso, the Igniter stock car and the Spanish flag Miguel Camino, the Shoot to the Roki Tokyo Nights version. And I already reviewed all of those except for this one. Because you know what? This was the best one. This is the best one, guys. And you know what I say, save the best for last. So here it is. I figure it's time. It's a rainy day, literally. So save it for the rainy day. Let's do it, guys. It's definitely a weekend blockbuster type of video in my opinion. So all right, let's just get into it. Shane Cooper did a great job. Not even going to treat this like a custom because it is so well emulated and so well aligned with what Mattel did for Sergio Perez. But I truly can't get over that they only did one of them. I mean, the cost of production for one car, to design one car, to give as a gift. I mean, Sergio Perez, you got to feel pretty good. Mattel ain't going to do that for nobody. Like, they ain't just going around doing that for anybody. Like, they'll do it for Lewis Hamilton and all these guys out here. But then they'll release, like, 1 million over the course of a decade. Like, truly, there's probably an absolute bazillion Jeff Gore vets out there based on Jeff Gordon or Lewis Hamilton's based on Lewis Hamilton. Now, granted, they never did Fernando Alonso. So, I don't know. That's a little weird. And then the rest were super chases, so a little bit rarer. But still, though, they love those characters and they love to churn them out. Sergio has got a little bit more of special treatment. Now, Shane used the Thailand version of Racing Red Francesco Bernoulli, I believe, for this because it's got the nice, cool expression that Racing Red Francesco had, the very determined one, which looks really good and, again, emulates the official Real Dealio. Now, what I love about this custom is that it deviates from the standard structure of typical World Grand Prix racers. You know, you look at Francesco Bernoulli, he's got his number painted to the colors of his country. He's got the all-in-all in the World Grand Prix. And thankfully, they scrapped all that crap because that is old and outdated. We don't need that anymore. And they actually put some contingency sponsors from the Piston Cup on him, which I thought to be a great way of intertwining and weaving in the Cars universe with, you know, a real life aspect. And so whether you think this character is canon to the Cars universe or not, they certainly tried to make it so. So you got clutch aid there, you got revolting octane gain, you even have Dynaco on the spoiler in the most prominent sense, which is really the best here. I mean, I think that's awesome. And then you do have these FR logos or whatever. Those are carried over from Francesco Bernoulli. I think that says Formula Racer. Yeah, Formula Racer. The R just is a little bit blurred. But yeah, he's number 11, which is his real life number. And then again, you also have Dynaco in big, bold letters on the spoiler, which is just awesome. You know, again, a great way of mixing the, you know, reality with the fiction. He does have his typical SP logo for Sergio Perez. This is just a beautiful custom. He's got Lightyear tires here, but nice silver wheels, well spoked. It's very light, obviously. Francesco's a very light car. Not much metal on this diecast, but still, I mean, it's perfect. This is one of my favorite customs in my collection, and the day I got this, you know, I pretty much just put it on display, and I actually did my thumbnail for it. It's kind of funny. I made the thumbnail for this guy months and months and months ago, along with all the other customs. I did them all at once. I designed the graphics, made the thumbnails, and then I just put them away in the storage, not storage, display. Trust me, this guy would never go in the storage. But now reviewing it, I'm falling in love with him again. It's so great to see all the details that Shane was able to put onto him. I mean, the coloring is just great. It's such kind of an odd color scheme. You don't necessarily see the red, blue, and yellow. And I'm glad that they went for that, which is kind of indicative, you know, of Sergio Perez's color scheme in real life. But I could have definitely seen them going for the more obvious or tempting choice, perhaps, of the Mexican color flag, being kind of like Memo Rojas Jr. here, red, white, and green, which, I mean, would have been cool and all that, but that's something we already have. And it's cool to get another Mexican racer, but in a very different way, and combining, you know, the American sponsors on there. It just is a really cool custom all around. And it's awesome to see Sergio Perez do a little photo shoot with it, get involved. I mean, overall, as much as when this first was launched or whatever, I was like, so upset that they said they're only doing one of these. I was like, oh my God, I want it so bad. But I knew I'd be able to get custom, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just great exposure for the Disney cars hobby. The more people who get exposed to Disney cars and talk about it and maybe end up deciding to buy one at the store, that's for everyone. That's a good thing for everyone here, you know, because the longer the hobby goes, the more fun we can all have together. The more we can collect, the more success Disney Cars has as a franchise, the happier we will be, at least in my opinion, or at least for me personally. Did bring out this carbon fiber of Francesco Bernoulli because I feel like it's got some more of those darker aspects or a little bit of a different wheel set that might be useful to compare to Sergio Checo Perez here. This would be a cool video to have recorded in Spanish, and I might actually do that. That might not be a half bad idea to record this one in Spanish. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do like a whole bunch of videos in Spanish and string them together or something. I don't know. I really need to get back to that because not only do I have to practice my Spanish, but I just want to be able to put out that type of content for you guys and take advantage of the fact that I literally majored in Spanish in college. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section below, out of all these international racers based on real life people, obviously not McQueen, sorry Owen Wilson, but yeah, I mean, you guys look cool together. They're buddies. They actually said when they launched him that Sergio Perez is part of Team Lightning McQueen. So I guess that's pretty cool. Maybe, he like cameos in something. Wouldn't that be kind of sick if he were the cameo in like a future project? I'd love that. I do find it, still a little unnerving maybe that he's the same model as Francesco Bernoulli. Again, it kind of gives me like K-Pillar to Rev Sterling vibes, but it's definitely more forgivable in a situation like this where they had, set the precedent to do that all the time, right? But yeah, who's your favorite? I mean, Frosty's definitely a popular one. He's become very popular in Australia, of course. Then these other ones are much more throwaway to me. Like, they're definitely not as popular racers. Longue and Jan Nilsson, Memo Rojas Jr., Vitaly Petrov. Obviously, Mattel did do a little bit more with Vitaly here by doing him in the ice race and all that, but the other three have never been touched again by Mattel. They were touched by the Disney store, so there's that. Fernando Alonso is super popular, but Mattel just never did him as a diecast. Probably has something to do with Fernando's rights and desires because, trust me, if Mattel was able to do Fernando Alonso, they absolutely would have. Like, I mean, what the hell? It's obvious. All these other racers, I'm sorry, guys, like you lot right here are not nearly as popular as Fernando Alonso. So if Mattel could have, they would have. And I think that's honestly why, like, they were like, all right, let's not even try and do him as a factory or a super chase, because if we can release him, we want to be able to do him in mass production like we do, Lewis Hamilton and Jeff Gorvat, who, as much as overproduced they have been, they are still, very successful and sell quite well. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know who's your favorite in the comment section below, and I'll see you soon for another video. My favorite is obviously Checo Perez. All right, adios.